Good morning. Thank you for taking a minute to be with me today. 3 months, 2 political killings, the poison in our politics. This was the name of an article which a friend of mine on Facebook sent to me. She asked me to analyze it. She was angered and hurt by the article, but a friend of hers would post it on her wall and comment on it and promote it. My friend was not entirely sure how to put words to it, why she was angered, why it was frustrating, why it just didn't seem right. My goal in this episode today, if that's what we want to call it, is to put words to the article for conservatives who might be likewise frustrated. The author begins by recounting the events of September 10th, when Charlie Kirk was assassinated by a far left-wing liberal who had etched into the casings of his bullets statements along the lines of, "Hey, fascist, catch." Then, the article goes on in the next paragraph. Of course, the writer of the article doesn't want to spend too much time on the assassination of Charlie Kirk or analyzing it, even though it was released the day after the assassination, the day of the assassination. Because the writer of the article, I assume, understood she might have to draw certain unwanted conclusions should she spend too much time there. No, after one paragraph, she then goes on to remind us about the horrible tragedy 3 months earlier when Vance Bolter, a far-right extremist disguised as a law enforcement officer, killed Representative Hortman and her husband and seriously wounded State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette. First of all, everybody agrees that that was a horrific tragedy, that it was a murder, and I hope that Vance Bolter gets the death penalty. He took a life from this planet because of their political ideals, presumably, and he deserves to be removed from this planet. I highly doubt the writer of this article would agree with me, but I want to state that in no uncertain terms. I don't especially disagree with the first several paragraphs, although I do want to take a moment to say how inappropriate in my mind it is. September 10th is when this article was released. September 10th is the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. How appropriate is it to post any article which dedicates one single paragraph to that assassination and then tries to draw conclusions about how all of us need to back down the rhetoric, and in the end, it's really Donald Trump's fault? How appropriate is that? Perhaps now, a month after the fact, that's when I was reading the article, as a month after it happened, and as I was reading it, I was like, I kind of agree with the first half of the article. The second half of the article is what you would expect, normal, everyday, liberal leftist propaganda. Liberal leftist logic, we'll put it that way, whose conclusion is always the same, and we'll get to that. But then I saw the date of this article, that it was September 10th. No wonder my friend who sent this to me was angered and hurt. Any article that comes out the very day of that tragedy and tries to draw conclusions and make your political party look better, especially look better than the party of that individual who was just murdered, even if those are the beliefs that you hold, what a gross thing to do. And that's angering to me as well. Going beyond that, let's just pretend, for the sake of argument, that the writer of this article waited for a month and then posted it. I would agree with the first several paragraphs. Then she gets into the crux of the argument. The words and actions of our political leaders in the coming days will prove consequential, with the greatest responsibility falling on the one who most shapes the national discourse, the president. The article goes on, of course, to say that in the end, the killing of Charlie Kirk and the coming political violence, which all of us hope will not happen, and the past political violence, which has happened, is primarily due to Donald Trump. Why does the left say this line over and over again? It is so tiresome. It's so tiresome. It's like every argument, everything bad that happens in the world, they'll write an article or have a commentary whose conclusion is always the same: it's Donald Trump's fault. It doesn't matter what circumstances led up to the event. It doesn't matter who radicalized the assassin. It doesn't matter. None of these things matter. What matters is that it's Donald Trump's fault. Their logic is just, it's so tiring. It's so tiring. Come up with a new line, present possibly some sort of an argument with a conclusion which follows logically instead of leads to your talking point. It's all Donald Trump's fault. I digress. The article goes on to say that Donald Trump's aggressive, divisive, dehumanizing rhetoric towards those who disagree with him is viewed by many experts as inflaming such extremism and contributing to the normalization of political violence. Okay, the political violence that we saw on September 10th was not caused by Donald Trump. The political violence that we saw on September 10th and the several attacks that are obviously political violence, same copycat type of stuff, same types of statements written on the bullet casings, attacks on ICE facilities, and all the rest. This does not come from the rhetoric of Donald Trump. This comes directly from the rhetoric of the left. Now tell me, those who on the left are fomenting hatred, those who on the left are picking up arms and murdering those on the right, for political aims, for a political objective, like the attacks on the ICE facility, like the riots that we're seeing in Portland right now, like over and over, like the riots in Chicago last week, all of this. Okay, tell me again, how is Donald Trump the cause of that? Show me one liberal in this country who sits and listens to Donald Trump and then says, now there's where I'm going to draw my policy decisions from Donald Trump. That's who's going to help me decide what to do in this world is Donald Trump. You don't see that. The political violence that we saw against Charlie Kirk are because of the culture in the left. What culture am I talking about? Okay? All of us will agree that the murder of Representative Hortman and her husband was a tragedy. Show me 10 Facebook posts right now. Show me 10 articles. Show me 10 newscasters. Show me 10 politicians right now who justified that attack. I'm talking about right-wing politicians, right-wing publications, your right-wing conservative friends. Show me 10 of them who justified that attack, who said, well, it's bad that that attack happened, but, Representative Hortman really had it coming. Show me them, and I doubt you will find them. Show me 10 Facebook posts where the left celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk. Show me 100. Show me 1,000. Show me 10,000 Facebook posts where your friends, my friends, all over social media make statements along the lines of, that's terrible what happened to Charlie Kirk, but he really kind of had it coming. He said things that offended the left, which is another way of saying Charlie Kirk's assassination is justified. The reaction of the parties on the opposite side from where the violence occurred. When we see violence against the left, there are some fringe right-wingers who celebrate it, probably. I didn't see a single one regarding Representative Hortman. Maybe they're out there. When violence occurs against the right from the left, we see the exact opposite. You know it, and I know it. The writer of this article knows it. Therefore, she is extraordinarily disingenuous to print what she printed. No, indeed, the left celebrates to a much greater degree. And I'm not saying every left-winger celebrates it. There are many left-wingers who did not. But to a much greater degree, the left celebrates violence against the right. The left justifies violence against the right. The telling component of the difference between the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the assassination or killing of Representative Hortman and her husband, that murder. The primary, most telling difference about the political culture of the left and the political culture of the right is the masses' response. I'm going to end my analysis right there of the article. But stick around for next time because a new study has come out that I'm going to spend some time delving into and discussing. And this new study specifically proves that the left is far more likely to celebrate violence than the right. I'm going to talk about that and the implications of it. In the meantime, to my friend who sent me the article, I thank you for sending it to me. I hope I've perhaps put some words to your frustrations, put some words and analysis to the article that you can use and understand in your mind. Thank you again, everybody, for joining me.